Hi, I'm Carl Bishop. This is American Garden Tour. And today I'm at the Gifford Arboretum at the University of Miami in Coral Gables, Florida. And I'll be talking with its director, Stephen Pearson. Stephen will be showing me some of his favorite plants here at the garden and telling me how they're helping to preserve the environment and feed some needy populations. Let's go take a walk.
The Arboretum was started in 1947 by two professors, Grimaldi and Woodbury. It was then named in honor of Jhansi Gifford. Gifford was a colorful professor here at the University of Miami who was very popular with the students. He was so popular that they named the Arboretum for him back in 1949. He was also involved in land development and banking here in South Florida. He had some very good ideas about using natural native materials in buildings. Gifford also had some boneheaded ideas.
We'll come back to John Gifford's legacy later in the tour. But first, let's find out a little bit more about this garden.
The Gifford Arboretum today contains over 500 species. They are in 14 different exhibit areas. 11 of those are by botanical groupings, and 3 are thematic. We have the South Florida Native Collection, the Maya Cocoa Garden, and the What is a Tree exhibit.
Most people think of trees as any plant with a woody trunk and a green canopy at the top, like this palm here, which is actually not a tree, and its trunk is not made of wood. At this point, you may be asking, what is a tree anyway?
We are standing in part of What is a Tree exhibit. It's an interesting exhibit because it makes students think about what a tree really means. People say banana tree, but bananas are not trees because they have nothing that resembles wood. They're held up by water pressure, and in the botanical world, that's called turgor. We also have bamboo, and there's a large species over here called Bambusa oldhamii. Bamboo is a grass, but yet in Japan they build houses and bridges out of them. Today we're using bamboo for flooring here in this country. We then segue into the Ericaceae, or palm family exhibit. According to some people, trees cannot be monocots.
A palm is an example of a monocot because it only has one leaf embryo in its seed. And the trunk of the palm is not wood, but previous layers of leaves or fronds that have hardened. That's enough science for now. Let's go look at some pretty flowers.
Beautiful shot. We'll catch something colorful. We have some things in bloom today. I'm looking behind us, the Acalypha hispida, sometimes called chenille plant or cat's tail with its red flowers that hang down.
And check out this jade vine hanging from this live oak tree. Its beautiful phosphorescent green-blue glow just captivates me.
Some people ask about what the purpose of the Jhansi Gifford Arboretum is. It's a garden that's maintained for education and research, and one purpose of the Gifford Arboretum and other arboretums is to be repositories for these endangered plants so that hopefully they can someday be reintroduced into their native areas or at least maintained as species that could be valuable to mankind. This tree here is Bactris gaiaspis. It's a clumping palm. This tree is now being used as a sustainable source of heart of palm. Usually to harvest heart of palm, you have to kill the palm tree. But this plant is now being grown widely in the Amazon basin, and if you kill one stem of the palm, it doesn't kill the plant. It produces new stems, so it's a very sustainable heart of palm.
Jhansi Gifford, the namesake of this arboretum, was the first American to hold a doctorate of forestry degree. But because he was also a land developer, he introduced a plant that ultimately ended up being a disaster for South Florida.
He at one point thought it was a good idea to seed the Everglades with Melaleuca. The Melaleucas would suck up the water, and all of a sudden you'd have more land to develop, to farm. But to his credit, he changed his mind. He later said, oh no, that's a boneheaded idea. South Florida learned way too late to appreciate the Everglades as much as we should, and now we're having to spend billions of dollars to try to restore it.
Stephen is the perfect tour guide. He's knowledgeable, he's nice, and he's got a good sense of humor.
We also have a program called Plant of the Year, where we pick a plant each year and distribute it for its benefit to native fauna. Species like Borreria succulenta, sometimes called Bahama strongbark or Bahama strongback, because it supposedly has powers when made into a tea to make the man strong for amorous activities. I have not personally tested that, but that's the legend.
Stephen's connection to this garden is stronger than you think, because without him, this garden probably wouldn't exist today.
Most of my adult life, I was an attorney, and I was one of the leaders of the fight to preserve the Arboretum. I was involved with the Arboretum back years ago when they threatened to pave it over for parking lots, and we won that fight, and now I think the university is again committed to preserving the Arboretum as a valuable resource for education and research and inspiring an interest in and appreciation for tropical plants. As we are losing tropical forests, the Amazon's being depleted, and I believe that's one of the components of climate change that we're experiencing today. Environmental issues do not know national boundaries. They are problems that need us to unify and to address together. And one of the sayings that I love by Dr. Albert Einstein, he once said that nationalism is the measles of humanity. And I think we need to be reminded of that and to now work together more than we ever have in the past to address these problems in a unified way worldwide.
The next time you're in South Florida, I encourage you to go to Coral Gables and visit the Jhansi Gifford Arboretum. I'm Carl Bishop, and this is American Garden Tour.